birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I
What's going on, everyone? This is Z. I am from DDG Philly, co-owner and founder of DDG. We are here in the Roots Room. We are with Digital Crates right now today, interviewing on what's going on with Raw Life Records. What's your take on the radio music?
I'm gonna try something to quit. If people understand what I'm saying, like music is homogenized.
Okay.
It's like everything is very similar. So it's like country sounds like rock, rock sounds like country, country sounds like pop, pop sounds like country,
Right.
hip hop sounds like EDM, EDM sounds like trap hip hop.
Right.
You know, it's like you have all these subgenres, but it's just like everything just basically sounds on the same. You turn on the radio and somebody did a mega mix last year. It was almost an hour long of like all the biggest hits of the year and lined them up, and they were all like in the same key, same time signature, and it's just like, so you listen to radio, and that's why people are so sick of it and moving towards streaming and independent hosting services like SoundCloud and YouTube, because everything just kind of sounds the same. And that goes to what you said. It's like there's a lack of innovation.
Right.
Like there really, in a long time, hasn't been a new instrument to come out.
Ever. So yeah, and that I was just having that conversation with someone the other day. I said everybody's learning these old instruments. Like we have our voices now. We starting to mess with the computers and stuff like that. But like that definitely takes time.
And that's the key to my production. What I do a lot is I literally like will pull out a drum set, a guitar and an amplifier, a live bass, bring in a choir for background vocals.
Oh, wow.
Like I'm really trying to get what producers call outside the box.
Yeah.
I'm trying to let that just be like a tape machine.
Yes.
And kind of like, even if I'm playing a synthesizer, I'll try to use a real hardware synthesizer, maybe sample it myself and play it later. Just be a little more authentic. Because that's kind of what's missing in the radio. And I love so much music that's out right now, but there's like a lack of special elements to it. So many of these hits on the radio right now, like imagine if they had like, you know, a choir or a guitar solo or a synthesizer solo, and you're starting to see some artists, I guess you say, experiment with different arrangements and techniques, but really for the past however many years it's just been verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus. It's rare when I'm listening to the radio and a song comes on, I'm like, yo, everybody be quiet, this is my favorite part coming up. And it doesn't happen that often.
Absolutely.
So I'm trying to do that in my production, is make like a special musical moment in like every song where people can be like, yo, stop that, yo, this is my part coming up. Not just, hey, this is my song, this is my part, and really get people back into listening. And that's the goal. And better advice I can also give is make your music more special. Don't just try to fit in, stand out.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of what I'm trying to do with Raw Life Records, is we're trying to make authentic, soulful music that's modern, that stands out. And that's part of the Digital Crates name too. It's a little bit of the old, a little bit of the new, and that's the vibe right there.
So you were just you did a track with Reek.
Yes.
And that's probably one of my favorite tracks. Shout out to Reek.
Yeah, fantastic story. Reek is low key, like the plug. Reek and I, believe it or not, it's a long story. We met on MySpace probably about 10 years ago.
MySpace.
I had a little publishing deal. I was out in LA. I had a little chips to throw around. And just like a real Philly boy, I said, yo, let me try to bring the money back home, like for real. And I just started scouting on MySpace, Philly producer artists. I sent him a little message, send message. And he hit me, and we just knew some of the same people, even though he was young. He was like 16, I was probably like early 20s, 21, 22. And we just knew a lot of the same people already. And he's like, yo, just come to the crib next time you're in Philly. And
the basement.
Came to the crib, came to Mom's basement, man. And some of those relationships that I built with Reek in those days led to a lot of the work I'm doing now, and it's just, I owe him a lot of thanks and maybe a couple of publishing points here and there.
That track was ridiculous. That track was ridiculous.
Shout out to Reek. He's got an album out right now called This Just Happened. Him and I have been talking about dropping a little surprise sometime soon.
Drop something.
Yeah, that's what everybody's been saying.
Y'all got Reek's a monster. You're a monster.
We have actually, I'll say, we have 3 songs finished in the tuck.
Okay.
I have like 2 more ideas. So I don't know if we're going to do maybe a whole project, which I would love to do, but I think we're going to drop a song or 2 really soon.
Okay.
Just give everybody a little something for the holidays.
Exactly. So as far as like the move in the city, and I'm talking more like on the business side, as far as like the record labels in the city, how, outside of just the sound of your records of Raw Life, how is it going to be different from anything? Because there's, the other labels?
It comes down to like an aesthetic thing.
Okay.
A lot of people look at music almost like they're doing a painting,
right?
And it's like colors and shapes and that. I look at it more like I'm building, like a house or a building or a church, if you will, working on gospel music. And so I really try to really look at a foundation and build as solid as a rock as I can to make as high and as wide and as amazing as it can be. And then I'm lucky and blessed to work with so many artists that can decorate it, if you will.
Yes.
And really design it well, and I just build it. Okay. So the difference between Raw Life records that I'm producing and records that are coming out anywhere else is that foundation, that authenticity, that real. I mean, it just comes down sometimes to the kick and the snare, to the simplest elements, just the boom, bap, just the simplest stuff that you would never think. I had a producer in here last week, and I started breaking down a track, and he was looking at me, he's like, yo, I didn't even hear those sounds in there. I said, exactly. Because it's just so solidly built that you don't know the elements that went into it, the different concrete that went between the layers of the bricks and stuff like that. And so that's what makes my records really stand out is that they're built. And the artists I'm working with are just very, very special. And I'm just very blessed in this situation.
Awesome. Now, if an artist wanted to, what is something that you would give an artist if they wanted to actually put themselves out there and, try to pitch to a record label such as yourself or any other record label out there? What are some of the fundamentals you would suggest, just even working so closely with so many different genres?
Literally what it comes down to, and I hate to say it on that tip, is I tell people just make money.
Absolutely.
The music's the first part, obviously. It's easy, like I said, to come to the studio and make a hit, but you go sit down and take those meetings at the agencies and the labels and the big law firms, and they want to see your tax returns. They want to see the money you're generating off all your streams and your sales, and they only want to hear your music. It's crazy. I'm the only one that's going to tell you the truth and put it out there. But look, if you've got a movement and you're generating income, and it may not just be off your music, it could be off show hosting, promoting, touring, whatever you're doing, merchandising, licensing, sales, whatever you're doing, that's what's going to make them take you more seriously and be like, okay, now let me hear something.
Right.
And then you got to hit them with it.
Right. Absolutely.
And you see, man, a lot of artists that are breaking right now, even though a lot of music sounds similar, you do have a lot of special artists. They're trying to fit in. It's a shame. But you can tell there's a young crop of very special artists in this industry that I think will be around for a very long time.
Okay. So I do want to ask probably 2 more questions.
Oh, you have as many as you like.
I'm rolling.
Shoot, I'm having a good time.
I want to hear something.
Okay.
I do. I feel like you knew that was coming.
Yeah.
I want to hear something, whether it's something that you've been working on playing on or whether it's.
Yeah. I'm gonna play something. Yeah, give me a second. give me 1 second, and I'll play something. I'm working with this amazing artist right now named Normal Gene. We have an album coming out through Raw Life Records on October 29th called Outspoken. And part of my new hobbies that I took on this year for Raw Life Records is doing lyric videos.
Okay.
Which is kind of like a wave on YouTube.
Yeah, it's a super big wave. People don't jump on that, which is crazy.
Music is like a high. I'm building a song, and it's, the gloss is put, the final paint and coatings are on, and I'm like, yo, I really get high off that.
Yeah.
And sometimes after working on music for so long, you don't get that feeling anymore, even though maybe other people in the room do.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, it's just another song. It's just like being in any other job. Yeah. It's like another form I had to fill out to get paid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I started doing these lyric videos for all the artists I work with, and this kind of gave me a new look on things. So it's now when I'm producing a song, I was thinking about an image in my head and what the lyrics over the image would look like, and the artwork and everything else that goes along with the song. So here's a little
I paid it back and you know it. I stunned it hard, you kept folding, you kept showing. And I was watching the sands in the hourglass pass, and I couldn't hold it no more. They told you not to chase after these men. Just sit down and close your purse, baby. But baby just kept on, I know it. Now baby can't find a way home. It's summer, but nights are still cold. She left her jacket at home, cause she's jugging tonight. Now tell me what you do to get to where the grass is hardly green, and the stars cannot be seen even from the sky.
like that was my vision. Even when we were recording the song, I pictured her like sitting at the Waffle House in Atlanta after a show on tour, thinking about all the crazy stuff that happened that night, and looking up at the clock and seeing that it's like 4:20 in the morning. Like, yo, we gotta go out and you know what I mean? And this night, like, yo, so and that's how we're gonna film the video. She's gonna be late night in the diner, retelling the story of what's in the song. And I'll show you one more just to give you kind of like an idea of some other things. Is here at Raw Life, it's not just organic soul hip hop. We're really branching out into indie, alternative, acoustic, rock, jazz, and we're producing Minister Jamie Knight, who's an amazing Christian music, modern gospel artist. She has some music out now too that's incredible. And so it's like I'm really learning how to take everybody's sounds of the artists I work with and infuse mine and kind of like make it